watching the 2014 NCAA Women's Championship presented by Capital One. Louisville region first round action as the 11th seed Marist Red Foxes take on 6th seed Iowa Hawkeyes home court here in Carver Hawkeye Arena in Iowa City, Iowa. Let's take a look at our brackets. Already today, Louisville advanced due to an 88-42 win over Idaho. LSU, West Virginia already through to the second round. We just await the winner of this game between Iowa and Marist. Let's take a look at tonight's starting lineups brought to you by Capital One and the one-on-one, Brandon Van Langen. We have 3 teams in the entire tournament who have 5 players averaging double figures. 2 of them are in this game.
Yeah, 2 very balanced teams facing up tonight. Neither has a player that scores over 14 points a game. Marist with their motion offense, Iowa with that dribble drive initiated offense.
Great balance. We will see how it affects us tonight. And here are those starters tonight. Marist has 5 starters in double figures, but they are shaking up their starting lineup tonight. Tori Giroux getting just her 3rd start of the season. A bigger, stronger player. They need her against the size of this Iowa Hawkeye team. Samantha Logic, the junior point guard, and Theairra Taylor, a senior, has endured 3 ACL surgeries in 20 months. They want to go out with a win for their only senior. The Capital One starting lineups. Opening tip goes to the Hawkeyes. A loud, rowdy crowd here to support their hometown team. Iowa hosting for the 2nd straight year in the 1st and 2nd rounds. And Doolittle, a beautiful turnaround and gets the foul.
And Holly, that's why Giroux started in this game, was to try to contain Bethany Doolittle. And the very first play of the game, Iowa goes right to Doolittle and picks up a foul on Giroux.
Doolittle finishes the 3-point play. The junior out of Minnesota has moved back to her natural position, played the 4 spot last year, back at her natural center position, the 5.
Man-to-man defense for Iowa, going to try to keep Marist out front. Marist so good at screening and cutting and getting each other open in their offense.
Shot clock down to 7. Doolin way up top, running out of time. Stops and pops for 3. No.
You know, and you'll see Marist use a lot of the shot clock. They don't care how long you have to run around and chase them offensively.
Taylor for 3 off the mark. Here come the Red Foxes. Pass ahead, Doolin to Coffey. Coffey, number 5, cuts into the lane on a wild shot that won't go. Quick pace to this game already as Taylor dishes. Disterhoff, no. A lot of adrenaline. I think these teams have been waiting a long time to play. Brian Georges, one of just a most intriguing, wonderful coach. 7-time Metro Athletic Conference Coach of the Year in his 12th year at Marist.
And you mentioned it. He has come into NCAA tournament after NCAA tournament, picking off bigger name schools.
Doolittle travels as Lisa Bluter looks on. 14th season as the Iowa head coach, 3-time Big Ten Coach of the Year, but more importantly, this year they have won 26 games, the most ever under Bluter's leadership. A terrific year for the Hawkeyes. Can they continue with the win over Marist today?
And they're excited to be on their home court. This is their 2nd year in a row of hosting 1st and 2nd rounds. And that play right there is indicative of something about these 2 teams are very similar. They have a lot of strengths that are the same offensively, but neither one is a great rebounding team. Nobody went after that last rebound.
Marist really working the shot clock, taking a lot of time. O'Connor finally gets one to go on the board for Marist. Iowa leads it by 1. Marist Red Foxes upset friendly. They have done it 4 times in the NCAA tournament. Because of plays like that, Giroux cuts to the basket, her first points.
And that's where they just move so well without the basketball. They share it, they set screens, they shape up. They're such a well-oiled machine offensively.
Doolittle works inside. Bethany Doolittle, 5 early points for the junior out of Oakdale, Minnesota.
And Brian George is talking to us about the fact that this Marist team not as good defensively as many of his teams in the past have been because they don't have that great size. We talked about Jaros being in the starting lineup today to try to combat Doolittle, but that's really where Iowa has an advantage in this game, is with Bethany Doolittle.
And a foul as Doolin is pulled to the ground from behind. Melissa Dixon, number 21 for Iowa, picks up her first personal foul. So Iowa up 5-4. It's already been an up and down kind of game in the first opening minutes as Jaros misses badly on that shot.
And you mentioned it, Holly. These two teams have waited a long time to play. It's been a long day. They have been very excited. They know they have very similar strengths. Both teams can put up a lot of points, and just a little out of control here in the early going.
And that is trouble. If that foul is on Jaros again, that would be her second foul. Let's see. No, luckily they called that on Leanne Ockenden, the senior out of Syracuse, New York, her first foul, but they don't have a lot of size inside. They can't afford their posts to get into foul trouble as Disterhoff hits the first free throw.
Natalie Disterhoff is such a great story for Iowa. She didn't start in the non-conference portion of the year, even when Big Ten conference play started. But at that point, Iowa was 2-3 in conference play, and they put Disterhoff into the starting lineup. And since then, they went 9-2 to finish the Big Ten season, advanced all the way to the Big Ten championship game, the title game where they lost to Nebraska. But Disterhoff has been a big part of their late season success.
And a charge called. I think they're waiting to see who that foul was called on. I believe it was on Coffey, Sydney Coffey, number 5, and it is indeed.
And Big Ten fans are going to be very familiar with the last name of Coffey because Sydney Coffey's sister, Nia, is the Nia Coffey at Northwestern, who's one of the great freshmen in the Big Ten Conference this year. Sydney Coffey, a year older, a sophomore, a slasher, likes to take the ball to the rim, also has three-point shooting ability.
And gets the steal here. Sydney Coffey going hard into the basket. No! Disterhoff rips down the rebound for the Hawkeyes, and here's Logic on the run. Nice bounce pass ahead to Doolittle, can't finish. Oh, that was a great pass.
Now, Marist would do well to take a little bit of time here. This pace has been frenetic early, but the good, you go make the shot. That's a good shot.
4 points for Theairra Jaros in her 3rd start of the season. So she's not just starting and using her size defensively, but she's been an offensive threat for the Red Foxes. Inside, Doolittle works on Jaros and gets the score. 7 points for Bethany Doolittle.
Not only is she the biggest player on this Iowa team, she is the leading scorer, just over 14 points per game. But as we mentioned, all 5 starters for Iowa score in double figures.
Rebound Hawkeyes. Here comes Taylor. Passes ahead quickly to Disterhoff, who shoots for 3. No. Red Fox rebound. Casey Doolin bringing it up the floor. One of the seniors on this Red Fox team. Feed inside to O'Connor, but a foul is called. A frenetic pace early on. The building is rocking. The Hawkeyes lead by 3.
The NCAA Women's Championship is presented by the Quicksilver Card from Capital One. Earn 1.5% cash back on every purchase.
Well, we're collecting the best photos from around the women's tournament from athletes and fans. Check out what we found from Iowa. Bright new shoes from Nike, and they're so excited. ESPNW.com tourney photos will have more of these best athlete social photos throughout the tournament. But more importantly, Iowa has put stickers on their shoes that say Team Pat. That is in support of Iowa men's coach Fran McCaffrey. You see there in the vest and blue shirt sleeves. He and his wife Margaret, some difficult things happening this week in their family. Their son Patrick, 14 years old, undergoing surgery for a thyroid tumor. was later announced this week that that is malignant, and they are forming a treatment plan, so our thoughts and prayers go out to them. Nothing worse than having your kid sick. And the Iowa ladies all supporting them, every single player with a Team Pat sticker on their shoes tonight.
Everybody in the basketball community throughout the country thinking of their family and in their thoughts and prayers.
No basket as Taylor is called for the charge. Her first foul. So Marist sticking around. Tie ball game 14-14. Lisa Bluter knew that this Marist team had a history of upsets in the tournament. Really trying to get her team locked in and focused.
Well, when you look at the senior class for Marist, in their freshman year, they beat Iowa State in the first round before losing by just 5 to Duke. Nice move to the basket. And then in their sophomore year, they beat Georgia in the first round.
And they go up now on Iowa here on the Hawkeyes home court. First round tournament action. Louisville advanced with the win over Idaho earlier today, as Dixon's three is long. This Marist team, 5 starters average in double figures. They did start a different player tonight, but they're back to their starting 5 now. Jerose was in early in the game for her size in the post, but now back to their regular starting lineup as Coffey in and out. She hit a 3 moments ago, but not that time.
Well, Coffey coming off that MAC conference final performance where she was named MVP. She scored 23 points in the championship game against Quinnipiac.
Disterhoff drives through traffic and is called for the offensive foul. So 2 offensive fouls already in this game on Iowa.
Marist has gotten it scoring inside and out. The great ball movement and the kick out that set up the shot from the left wing for Sydney Coffey. She followed that up from the other side of the court. And Marist offensive flow looks good here in the early going.
Marist out of Poughkeepsie, New York. A terrific team under the leadership of Brian Georges, and a travel from Sydney Coffey. Second round action of the NCAA Women's Basketball Championship presented by Capital One begins Monday on ESPN2. 4 games tip at 6:30 Eastern. Most of you will see the pursuit of perfection continue as #1 seed and undefeated Notre Dame takes on Arizona State. This game is available in its entirety on ESPN News. Logic, nice spin move in the lane, and Samantha Logic with her first bucket.
Another great game is going to be that DePaul-Duke game. DePaul putting up 104 points in their first round game. It will be interesting to see that matchup against Duke. So we've got good games all across the board here. This is one of those games in Marist and Iowa that we could see a very high-scoring game as well. Both these very potent offenses, both coaches both admitting that their defenses haven't always been locked down throughout the course of the year. So we may see a very high-scoring game.
So subs checking in for both teams. Melissa Dixon picked up the second personnel, so she will go to the bench for Iowa, as Alexa Kostanek will come back in. Claire Till also checking in for the Hawkeyes on that break. Really very frenetic pace early in this game. Iowa going to their bench early. And we also have a sub coming in for Marist. Natalie Gomez-Martinez, #3 in red. Logic pulls down the rebound at 5'9", one of the best rebounders in the league, averaging 7 rebounds a game for Iowa at just 5'9". Taylor well off the mark. And a back and forth game, and we're all tied up at 11. Marist making it interesting here in Iowa City. Welcome back to Iowa City, where Iowa and Marist all tied up 11 apiece with just over 11 minutes to play in the first half. Holly Rowe along with Brenda Van Langen. And this has been a frenetic pace back and forth, Brenda. If you're Lisa Bluter, the hometown team, higher seed, what's going through your mind right now all tied up?
Well, I think overall, you've got to be concerned about driving and picking up those charges early, because that is a strength of Iowa typically, is to dribble, drive in and set up things. And instead, they got called for a couple of offensive charges, and it seems to have kind of disrupted their offensive flow. They aren't able to do the things that have made them so successful all year. Credit Marist for the good defense drawing those charges. And Marist on the other end is sharing the basketball and moving it well and staying right with Iowa here early.
4 players for this Marist team have already scored. Speaking to that balance you told us about, that they share the basketball well and everybody equal offense, equal opportunity offense. Just like that as Blaze gets her first bucket. So now 5 players for Marist have scored in this game.
And she didn't start in this game. We talked about Giroux getting the start. However, Blaze was an all-MAC second teamer this year and a great three-point shooter.
In and out. Here come the Red Foxes off the miss by Kasonic.
So we just haven't seen Iowa get into a flow here offensively. And on the other side, Marist has gotten everybody involved in the scoring.
Giroux back in for Marist. She started the game. They brought her back in for some size defensively. Shot clock down to 6. No. And Marist has done that a few times, gone deep into the shot clock without success, as Taylor drives in hard. Theairra Taylor, the senior, gets on the board.
And she was one of the players that picked up an offensive foul earlier. So that time, changed speed, changed direction, went to the opposite side of the rim. A more under control drive to the rim.
14-13, Marist with a 1-point lead. We've seen some upsets in this tournament. Will this be one tonight on the Hawkeyes' home floor? Shot clock down to 3. Again, another poor possession by Marist. Logic changing pace, kicks it out to Disterhoff. Disterhoff for 3, no.
Kind of hesitated. That's one of those shots when you have the ball kicked out, you want to be ready to shoot right then. Disterhoff, usually a very willing shooter, that time hesitated.
And 3 poor possessions from Marist, as they've got to get back on track. But Theairra Taylor from Iowa, she is feeling it.
Well, she was able to get the rebound, push out in transition. Nobody stops the basketball. And watch as she's able to change direction on Coffey and just take it to the left side of the lane, opening things up a little bit for that Iowa offense.
Passing side, tipped out of bounds. Iowa basketball.
And you saw again the 2 defenders around Marist. Doolittle came out and scored the first couple of possessions. So Brian George's team going to try to put a lot of attention around Doolittle, not allow her easy catches on the block.
Emma O'Connor checks back in for Marist, one of their top scorers, first team All-MAC. Number 13 in red is Logic. Makes sense for 3.
You got to keep an eye on the inbounder. Louisville does this as well. Shoni Schimmel loves that pass in and then cutting over to get the pass back in the shot. That time Logic was wide open after she inbounded it.
And Iowa needed that. They were 1 for 7 from 3-point range until Logic got that to fall. As Giroux travels, 4 poor possessions now for Marist. Brenda, what do they have to do to get their composure back?
Do what they were doing earlier. Passing, cutting, setting screens. You have to give Iowa credit for a little more pressure on the basketball, being a little more frenetic defensively. But Marist does what it does so well when it passes and screens and moves. And even using the entire shot clock, Holly, for Marist isn't a bad possession. They're willing to use the entire shot clock, but we haven't seen the quality shots at the end of the shot clock.
Tori Giroux goes to the bench with her second personal foul. That will bring Leanne Ockenden back in for the Red Foxes.
And it gives Iowa that advantage with Doolittle's size. We'll see how much Iowa decides to go to Doolittle there. You can see just even up against O'Connor, who is only 6 feet tall, going to have some trouble matching up with that size.
Kick out for 3. Logic is short. And here comes Doolin of Marist, number 14, red. Good ball reversal. No on the 3. Rebound by Maddie Blaze. And a little more organized possession this time down for the Red Foxes.
Well, I think offensive rebounds are there for the taking. As I mentioned earlier, neither team great at rebounding, and Blaze created that second chance opportunity by the hustle on the boards.
Emma O'Connor buries the 3. And Marist goes up by 1.
Back and forth, back and forth. It's going to be that kind of game because both teams have so many different offensive threats.
Another 3 from Iowa. Claire Till off the bench. The sophomore out of Dubuque, Iowa, with her first bucket.
And she has only made 5 3-pointers all season long, so that's really a rhythm shot. She felt the rhythm of the offense. Good passing to set that up.
Doolin in the lane, gets the roll.
Doolin, a 3-year starter, was out for the first 9 games of the year, and she brings such leadership at that point guard position.
Taylor for 3. Yes! So after starting 0 for 6 from 3-point range, Iowa starting to feel it. Now 2 straight 3s.
So often, missing is contagious, but making shots can be contagious as well.
Iowa up 22-19. Marist starting to get in a rhythm from 3, but the Hawkeyes answer right back. Claire Till puts it home. In a back-and-forth first half, Iowa up 22-19 over Marist. The winner of the first game, Louisville, trying to scout out their opponent here. Shoni Schimmel, Jude Schimmel look on. Terrific, well-balanced scoring from Louisville in their first game. Well, men's ice hockey skates towards the Frozen Four as well. Regional semifinals in Bridgeport, Cincinnati begin Friday, 2 Eastern on ESPNU, and watch ESPN. You can find information on every championship on NCAA.com for all 89 NCAA championships. Beautiful pass inside, well executed out of the timeout. Leanne Ockenden.
Great work off the basketball. That's where Marist is so good. Everybody moves well away from the ball, helping each other, screening, cutting, making themselves available. Marist was able to move the basketball the last time on the backside. Ockenden just slipped back. She went to set a screen up and then slipped back door to be wide open for that shot at the rim.
Logic.
And now Logic has done that twice, Holly. After she has inbounded the ball, hustled in. We saw her hit the 3 before. This time she gets in, and as the ball is bouncing around on the floor, grabs it and scores.
Doolin answers on the other end, and Marist trails by 1.
What a leader for this team, coming off that MAC conference final where she had 14 points, 7 rebounds, and 7 assists. So creative with the basketball is Casey Doolin.
So we've already had 3 ties and 6 lead changes in this first half. It has been frenetic as Doolittle, the beautiful turnaround move. She's got 9.
That's right, get used to it. Both these teams can fill it up. And because neither really locks down defensively, I think you're going to continue to see these offenses move the ball well, share it, find the open player, be patient, and get opportunities like that.
Logic on the break, going fast, takes it herself. Nice basket, Samantha Logic. 9 points for the junior out of Wisconsin.
Logic 7.5 assists per game, but if nobody stops her, she is going to take it all the way to the rim.
Largest lead of the game for Iowa by 5. Emma O'Connor makes a move, then they pass it back out. Back to O'Connor. And it's turned over. Taylor, she's got numbers. Iowa has jumped out to a 7-point lead. Timeout called to stop the bleeding. And what has Iowa put together here?
Well, they have been stronger defensively, and they have used their defense to create a little offense here with Taylor pushing down the court. We saw on the play before, Sam Logic got out in transition and scored in transition. Iowa, a very good transition team. They can use their defense to create some offense, try to disrupt this Marist offense a little bit. That's what we've seen over the last couple of minutes.
So out of the timeout for Marist, what do you run here? What does Brian Georges ask for his team to kind of get back to normal here?
Well, they run this motion offense that they can create out of it, setting screens. Now, Iowa shifts to the zone, and they've shown zone a few times here in the course of this run. So you have to just take your time and find the openings within the zone.
And a travel on the other end for Iowa. So Catherine Fogarty checks in for the Red Foxes, number 35 in red. And Iowa also sending in some subs. Callie Peschel coming back in now for the Hawkeyes.
And you may think it may be counterintuitive to try to run a zone against Marist, although Iowa goes back to the man. But Lisa Bluter and her staff told us today, hey, we're going to mix it up a little bit, because sometimes teams that don't see much zone because they shoot so well don't handle it well when it's sprung on them.
O'Connor with 7 points. Pulls Marist within 5. Iowa has made 6 straight field goals that turn it over here. Well, back and forth, a thriller here in Hawkeyeville. Iowa up by 5 over Marist. Welcome back to Iowa City, where the Hawkeyes are up by 5 over Marist with 3:49 to play in the half. Well, coming up on the Northwestern Mutual halftime report with Kevin Nagandi, we'll check in on other first-round action going on. Prairie View A&M and UConn, North Dakota and Texas A&M, and Oregon State takes on Middle Tennessee State. We've already seen a lot of upsets today, so who knows what this evening has in store. Georgia going down. James Madison, it looked like, had a great win today as well. A lot of upsets in the women's tournament, and the men's tournament has been crazy. And the ladies being just as dramatic.
BYU with the upset yesterday over North Carolina State.
Jeff Judkins doing a great job for the Cougars. And a left-handed shot that time. Ockenden just off the mark.
Well, Iowa started off this game getting its first 9 points from the front court, most of that Bethany Doolittle. But since then, the backcourt has scored 19 of their last 21 points, make that 22 of their last 24.
Theairra Taylor, what a story she is. A redshirt senior out of St. Paul, Minnesota. Tore her ACL, came back to preseason practice, tore it again. 3 ACL surgeries in 20 months. So she goes nearly 3 years without playing basketball. But she has come back and started every game the last 2 seasons. Their only senior night, came back and scored double figures on senior night, and Theairra Taylor playing her best basketball of her career.
And she really is. She has been on fire lately. And you mentioned she started the last 2 years, but Lisa Bluter talked to us about how difficult it was when Theairra Taylor was coming back. I mean, can you imagine, after 3 surgeries, she was actually so physically ill that she would throw up before games because she was so nervous about possibly tearing her knee again. And Lisa Bluter said, you know what? You have a scholarship for the rest of your time here. You don't ever have to play basketball again. But Theairra Taylor wanted to, and she has been courageous and a big star, especially in this, her senior year.
Physically tough, mentally tough, and helping her team to a 34-25 lead with 2:45 to play.
Iowa just went back to that zone, but that's great ball movement, finding the opening, that baseline, open before the low person in the zone could rotate out for Iowa.
Madeline Blaze with her second 3 of the game. The sophomore out of New Hampshire. And a foul called. So the third offensive foul of the game charged against Iowa. And you talked about that was maybe changing some of their aggression in the first half, but got to adjust to how the officials are calling the game. Our officials, Michael McConnell, Kevin Farlow, and Kathleen Lonigan.
Back to the man-to-man. So you're seeing Iowa shifted up. You saw Marist getting into such a rhythm offensively for a big stretch of this first half. So since then, Iowa has shifted it up a bit, and I think it has bothered Marist a little bit with their rhythm.
Logic. Driving hard, kicks out to Disterhoff for 3. No. Here comes Marist.
I've had a chance to see Allie Disterhoff play a couple of times this year, and she doesn't look quite as confident with her scoring right now.
Well, Maddie Blaze had fallen to the ground, and actually she touches the ball out of bounds and turns it over. Now, she was too far away from the basket. She couldn't shoot it from her behind and make a basket like they did in North Carolina's game. Well, third round coverage of the NCAA Division I Men's Basketball Championship continues tonight on TNT and TBS. For more information on game times and listings, go to ncaa.com. That had to be a Sports Center top 10 today when North Carolina's player falls to the ground, gets the rebound, and from her behind, shoots it up and makes the basket.
It was incredible.
It was incredible. (34-28). Iowa leads Marist. The feed inside. Kicks out to Doolittle. And you know, she's an interesting matchup. Not every 5 in the country can kick out like that and step out and hit a good shot.
Well, we've seen Bethany Doolittle on the defensive end be very active, and she had to play that 4 position along with Morgan Johnson last year. There's Claire Till, who brings a spark to the Iowa lineup as well. But Doolittle has experience playing out on the perimeter after last season.
Doolin missed an easy look inside. A minute to play in the half. Kicks out again to Disterhoff. She goes baseline up, and another offensive foul. Unbelievable. 4 offensive fouls, Brenda. I mean,
and that's part
of these real fouls.
This is, yeah, I think Disterhoff, absolutely. The Marist defender rotates over there. Emma O'Connor is in great position. A connected team defense will draw some fouls, and that's why I said Allie Disterhoff is not herself. I have seen her play so much more confidently during the course of the season. She's making some mistakes tonight.
Well, she's got 2 fouls. She'll have to go to the bench. Doolin, no. So Iowa has to maybe readjust to how the officials are calling this game and make some changes. They're still leading this game against Marist, but the Red Foxes giving the Hawkeyes all they want here in the first half.
Well, you can still be aggressive with the ball like Sam Logic was there. You just have to make better decisions, being aware when the defense rotates.
Blaze goes in hard and is fouled. She'll go to the line.
You know, Maddie Blaze, Brian George has talked to us about the fact that she's the player with the biggest growth and development during the course of this last season. When Tori Jarosz was out early with the injury, Blaze was asked to step into the starting lineup, and she hasn't relinquished it. She is one of the top 3-point shooters in the NCAA, shoots 48% from 3-point range, and was named All-MAC second team this year as a sophomore.
Hits them both. Blaze has 8 points to pull Marist within 6 with 19 seconds to play in the half. Samantha Logic takes her time. Outside to Melissa Dixon. Dixon back in after sitting on the bench with those 2 fouls. And a foul on the rebound.
It was a big aggressive rebound that time by Bethany Doolittle, getting on the offensive boards. Didn't want to let the first half get away without an extra opportunity, and earn that extra opportunity to go to the line.
Bethany Doolittle, a 74% free throw shooter, shooting 1-and-1. Second team All Big Ten this year. made the all-defensive team. And, you know, she said her biggest difference between this year and last year is she's just more comfortable. She was playing the 4 last year, a position she hadn't played before, and back to her natural 5 spot, and she is feeling great. 11 points now for the junior. 3 Iowa Hawkeyes with 11 points in this first half. Very balanced scoring. So Iowa, after a back-and-forth first half, opens up an 8-point lead at halftime, Brenda.
Well, they were able to get the points from Logic, Taylor, and Doolittle. We saw it early from Doolittle, but it was Logic and Taylor later on scoring in transition, getting to the rim, hitting perimeter shots, lifting this Iowa offense.
But Marist has upsets on their mind 4 times in this NCAA tournament. They have upset a higher-seeded team. They trail Iowa just by 8. So our halftime score, Iowa 38, Marist 30. We will join Kevin Nagandi in our studio with the Northwestern Mutual halftime report right after these messages. Thank you, Kevin, and welcome back to the 2014 NCAA Women's Championship presented by Capital One. In the Louisville region, first round action, Iowa leads Marist 38-30 from Carver Hawkeye Arena in Iowa City. Let's take a look at tonight's Capital One impact performance by the Capital One Cup.
And it's the advantage that Iowa has in the paint. They were able to take advantage of early. Bethany Doolittle was able to score 11 points going inside, but it was really the guard play, attacking the rim. Samantha Logic off that inbounds play, Theairra Taylor in transition. I was able to get some things going in transition to score with their guards in the paint to complement what Doolittle was doing.
Well, here's a look at our first half stats. Rebounding was an issue. Iowa with a 6-rebound advantage. But keep in mind, this Marist team can hit the 3-point shot. An 8-point deficit, not a lot for them. In their conference tournament game, they were down by 17 to Quinnipiac and came back and won that game. Here's a look at their balanced scoring, typically very balanced, but they've got to get going. Coffey with just 3, Ockenden with only 2 points. They have got to score better here in the second half. And right away, Blaze with the 3-point shot is off.
And so Brian Georges chooses to go with Maddie Blaze in the starting lineup to start the second half. She is a 48% 3-point shooter and the second leading scorer on this team. So Brian Georges decided,
who started the first half, they go with a different lineup, and that means O'Connor has to guard Doolittle, and she does a nice job there on the first attempt.
She sure did. It looked like Doolittle had the inside position, but great effort that time by Emma O'Connor to block the shot.
Three seniors on this Marist team, and they say their most special moment as a Red Fox is the memories they've made in the NCAA tournament. Can they make another today? Shot clock down to 3. Disterhoff unaware. And the freshman, Allie Disterhoff, just not quite paying attention there, but luckily for Iowa, it is their ball into their own basket.
Like I mentioned earlier, Disterhoff has had such great poise as a freshman all Big Ten conference season long, and maybe just this opportunity to be in her first NCAA tournament, getting the best of her right now. Hasn't made great decisions so far, but she's being picked up by her teammates.
Logic with a beautiful pass to Bethany Doolittle. She's got 13 points. I mean, who is a better player than Samantha Logic in the country? She is so fun to watch. Can't get over it.
Heard Kara Lawson talking at the half about her being one of her favorite players. She's one of mine as well. I just love the way
I love the kid. Theairra Taylor comes down with it. Logic, one of the only players in the nation to average over 13 points a game, over 7 assists a game, and over 6 rebounds a game. So only player in the nation, Brenda, doing a little bit of everything.
Oh, she's a triple-double waiting to happen.
And finally, a 3 from Leanne Ockenden. We told you she needed to get going, and she does. 5 points now for the senior out of Syracuse, New York.
Another one of those 3-year starters for Marist. And you mentioned it, good 3-point shooting from Marist. Can never count them out because they have ability to put up a lot of points.
But they have to find an answer for Doolittle. She's got 15 points and doing what she wants inside.
Yeah, really buried the defender that time with great post-up position.
Blaze in the lane, no. Here comes Logic. Passes ahead, but the ball is kicked. And it is still Iowa basketball. Georges can't believe it. The Marist coach going nuts on the sideline.
Both Georges and Ockenden right away jumped up and said that they did not. Yeah, there's no kick there.
No foot touched that ball.
She just went down with her foot, with her hand and stole it. That, not a good call. And
you could hear him yelling, it was her hand, it was her hand.
And takes away an opportunity from Marist to get a steal and go down to the other end.
So Iowa leads at 42-33. Taylor for three, off. O'Connor skies for the rebound. Here come the Red Foxes. Up ahead to Blaze. She'll take Doolittle inside. And there's a foul.
It's a great decision, Holly, by Madeline Blaze, because Doolittle can defend on the perimeter, but she is not going to be as quick on the guards. And that time, Blaze recognizing that and took her to the hole and drew that foul.
Second foul on Doolittle. O'Connor can't get the play off the inbound. But the Red Foxes will have another opportunity. And, you know, the officials having some interesting calls here. It hasn't been a great sequence here lately.
Yeah, it looked like Coffey was the one that got in there and mixed it up and knocked it out.
Blaze, left alone, connects. She's got 10.
And so you have to have a short memory. Can't let those things bother you. And Marist runs a good offense and gets a good play.
So foul charge to Leanne Ockenden, her second. And Marist down by 7. Brian Georges getting a little frustrated, tries to take a seat and collect himself after that call on the mystery kicked ball.
Disterhoff with an opportunity here, passes it off. See how Iowa keeps the floor spread so well, and that's a good decision by Taylor. We saw in the first half, Holly, we talked about the fact that a few times Iowa drove in there and ran over defenders that were waiting. Taylor, the veteran, pulls up that time and shoots over the defender.
And Marist not going away. Melissa Dixon in with those 2 fouls she picked up in the first half. Full starting lineup back in for Iowa. Dixon, Taylor, Disterhoff, Logic, and Doolittle. How about Theairra Taylor, the senior, with 16 points here in the first round. 3 coming from the 3-ball.
She has improved her game so much during the course of her career. Not just a slasher, somebody can get it to the rim. An excellent 3-point shooter as well.
Taylor shoots 36%. She doesn't take a lot of shots, just her 46th 3 of the season. Coffey for 3 for Marist. Yes! Gets this one to go, and that's why Marist is never too far out of it. Down by 7.
And it was set up by an offensive rebound. We haven't seen a lot of offensive boards in this game, but Marist gave themselves a second chance.
And a called timeout by Marist on the loose ball.
And we have seen some excellent 3-point shooting. The senior, Theairra Taylor, filling it up from long range. But the answer, Marist not going away, knocking down the big 3. Iowa up by 7.
Well, second round action of the NCAA Women's Basketball Championship presented by Capital One continues Monday on ESPN2 with regional action. 4 games tip off at 9 Eastern. Most of you will see the 8th seed St. John's taking on number 1 seed Tennessee. Of course, here in our region, Louisville has already advanced. Jeff Walls here scouting. Louisville got past Idaho earlier tonight, 88-42.
I'm very interested to see how the mad scientist cooks up a defense to try to stop either one of these teams.
Ockenden with a nice turnaround move.
We've seen Ockenden make some excellent plays here in the second half. One of those 3 seniors that you talked about. Almost 34 minutes a game. Very valuable to this Marist team.
Taylor is fouled as we go to break. Taylor, Doolittle, and Logic have scored 42 of Iowa's 47 points. Balance from the Hawkeyes here in Iowa City. Iowa leads by 5 with 14:54 to play in the game. The Hawkeyes with very balanced scoring. Brenda, you talked about it at the beginning of the game, and that has panned out.
Yeah, both teams have 5 players that average in double figures. You see the numbers for Iowa overall. Doolittle, Logic, and Taylor all in double figures tonight. Melissa Dixon would have had a 3, but it was waved off because a foul was committed on that last possession before we went to break. But you know, even though all 5 players average double figures, you're not going to get all 5 scoring in double figures. It just shows that there are options everywhere on the court for Iowa. Right now, those 3 are the best options in this game against Marist.
Melissa Dixon hasn't gotten it going. She has a travel there, but picked up those 2 early fouls, had to spend some time in the first half on the bench. So Marist down by 5, plenty of time left in this ball game. The Red Foxes sticking around. Nice feed inside to Blaze.
Oh, it looked like she might have drug her pivot foot there. Man-to-man for Iowa. They're switching on the screens if they need to.
Shot clock down to 6. Doolin out to Blaze. Doolin, top of the key, no. Logic going in hard. Can't get the roll or the foul. But Claire Till keeps it alive for the Hawkeyes.
We saw her bring some spark and energy in the first half.
Theairra Taylor airing it out. 4 3-pointers for the redshirt senior.
How huge is that offensive rebound for Claire Till? There are so many offensive rebounds that are available because you're not seeing anybody being aggressive going to the defensive board. So if you have the mindset to go get an offensive board, they're available tonight. And Claire Till gave Iowa that chance for a 3-point shot.
Shot fake from Ockenden, and she takes it to the rim.
Kind of awkward.
Awkward by Ockenden.
Still found a way to finish it. Looked like she may have twisted something. She got a little pain expressed on her face right now.
She's one of the 3 seniors on this Marist team, the MAC Defensive Player of the Year this year for the 2nd straight year. And Disterhoff finally starts to get a rhythm, her first field goal of the game.
And that looked like a shot that Allie Disterhoff shot with confidence all through Big Ten play. She caught it and shot it. There was no hesitation, no second guessing. That's the kind of play that she's had throughout conference play.
Blaze loses the ball. Logic coming down hard, as she always does with a head of steam. Back out to Disterhoff, not this time. But Claire Till muscles down the rebound. Hawkeye fans love it here in Iowa City.
Her mom, Shelly Till, is the radio analyst for the Hawkeye broadcast. Has to be pretty proud. A couple of big offensive rebounds for Claire.
Turnover by the Hawkeyes. Ockenden chases down the long pass, not to be, and no foul called. But now on the backside, a foul called on Blaze.
Well, I mentioned how Iowa got that great shot from Disterhoff. She just caught it and shot it with confidence, and this is such a great story.
She is from Iowa City here, and on the left you see a little girl with the basketball on her hip. That is Allie Disterhoff. She was recruited to show on that poster, and now all these years later she's on the poster. She dreamed big, and here she is playing in the NCAA tournament.
And her mom, Missy Slockett, actually was teammates with Jan Jensen and Jenny Fitzgerald, 2 of the assistant coaches for Iowa. And that got Allie on the poster many years ago and has been a big part of Iowa's success this year.
And immediate timeout. Iowa running away with it here. They were only ahead by 5, but they have stretched the lead, leading at 55-44. Iowa up 55-44 over 11 seed Marist with 12:03 to play in the game. Louisville region first round action, and the Louisville Cardinals playing away from home here. They're a 3 seed, but they've already handled their business. They're on to the second round after beating Idaho today 88-42. Holly Rowe, Brenda Van Langen, and the Hawkeyes pulling away here, Brenda. This has been a high-scoring team, good sharing team all year.
Well, they have. They have led the Big Ten in scoring and assists, has Iowa this season. And it's saying something because of how great of a year the Big Ten Conference has had overall. 5 teams advancing to the NCAA tournament, 4 in the WNIT, and all Big Ten teams are still alive. All 4 Big Ten teams in the NCAA won their first-round games other than Iowa. Iowa would make it 5, so a lot of success here for the Big Ten in postseason play.
Alexa Kostanek checks in and turns it over for Iowa. More subs coming in. Melissa Dixon checks back in, gives Theairra Taylor a break. Ockenden checks in for Madeline Blaze of Marist. Ockenden coming alive here in the second half, has scored 7 points in the second half. Doolin drives hard into the paint and loses control, but Melissa Dixon called for the foul, and you can hear what the home fans think of that.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that myself. That was a situation where Doolin put the ball on the floor and there was really nowhere to go. I thought Dixon was in pretty good defensive position that time.
So no points, 3 fouls. Not a typical night for Melissa Dixon, who normally averages 13 points a game. And
so not only are they calling the blocking foul, but they're saying it was on the shot.
And you could hear what the Hawkeye faithful thought of that sequence of events. Kostanek goes to the bench. Dixon's going to stay in with those 3 fouls. Disterhoff checks back in for the Hawkeyes as well, as Doolin cannot connect.
The Iowa offense is so predicated by that dribble penetration. Sam Logic dribbles in, finds a player. If they aren't ready for the shot, they move the ball around, but her play by the dribble drive into the heart of the defense makes the defense collapse, and then they have to scramble on the perimeter, and that's part of what makes this Iowa offense so effective.
Jerose was called for that personal foul, and Doolittle went right back at her because she knows that's her 3rd. And so Doolittle, the junior, picking up her 19th point tonight.
Yeah, great point, Holly. Very smart play by Doolittle.
Jerose driving hard, kicks it out. Ockenden, no. Hawkeye basketball, Sam Logic, 11 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists tonight. Will it be more? Yes! 7th assist of the night as Disterhoff buries it.
You see how Sam Logic just went and wedged herself in between the defenders and Allie Disterhoff to give her some room? Great setup by Sam Logic.
Biggest lead of the night for Iowa. And a foul. Again, Claire Till, hand on the ball handler, her first.
So down on the other end, Samantha Logic taking the ball in, driving right at the defenders. And see how she just cut right in front of Disterhoff, right in front of her defender, so her defender couldn't recover fast enough. I mean, that is a very smart point guard. We have pointed out what a great player Samantha Logic is all game long. We had a chance to talk to her at shoot-around today. She loves her job because she has so many options when she drives into the lane.
And a 3 for O'Connor. Just when you think this game is getting away from him, Marist tries to make it interesting. Down by 11, O'Connor has 10 points now for the senior out of Lynbrook, New York. Doolittle quickly answers on the other end, 21 points.
Great cut, excellent movement away from the ball. And who else initiating that pass but Sam Logic?
Close to a triple-double. Sam Logic had 3 triple-doubles this year.
Yeah.
Only one other player in the NCAA had more, and it was Alyssa Thomas of Maryland, who had 4. So just a unique, rare performance that we are watching. Samantha Logic out of Racine, Wisconsin.
You know, we saw her early scoring because the team needed her to score. Lately, it's been more of the assist because she wants to get everybody else involved and has been. And then she gets on the boards.
Unanimous first team all Big Ten. Sam Logic, Iowa's career assist leader. Oh boy. And Doolin looked like she got a piece of Logic's face as she tried to swing through on that move to the basket. And Lisa Bluter races out onto the court to check on the health of her player. Logic has been injured before this season. And they're looking at her teeth, her mouth. She plays with a mouth guard, and it looks like maybe a split lip there.
And earlier this year, Samantha Logic, in a game against Syracuse, went down in the first half when she was cut. Took her to the locker room. She got 6 stitches in that game and came back and helped get the win over Syracuse. They call her Nails because she is tough as nails. And you see here, and
second elbow through, contact to the chin, and they're going to look at it on the monitor.
They're going to take a look at it, but I don't think that's anything malicious or flagrant there. I think just rotating through with the basketball, Casey Doolin. Sam Logic was right up there giving pressure, and the rotation through by Doolin. I don't think that they're going to go with an F1 on this one. It is a foul. She got called for the foul.
And here's a look at what she has endured already this season. As you said, she got an elbow in a game against Syracuse. You can see right there she's going down after the contact. She gets the stitches.
Look at the blood on her arm.
You know, she really opened up a tough cut above that right eyebrow. And there she is back in action. She did come back and play in that game after getting the stitches, and then was right back out on the floor the next game with the patch over her eye and now a bloody lip. But hey, that's nothing. She gets a big smile. That's nothing. I think I've gone through worse. You know, she grew up wrestling. She has another sister, Brett, and her father. And they were a tough and rumble family. She said, I really feel like I get some of my toughness because we used to wrestle with my dad, and he would not take it easy on us. He would not let us win. Like, he really put some toughness into his girls.
Well, we've already talked about all of her skills. The triple-double waiting to happen. The way she leads the Big Ten in assists and steals. She can score. She can rebound. And then when you add to that the toughness factor, I mean, it just shows what a complete player this young lady is.
And, you know, Doolin just making a basketball move did not look malicious in any manner. The officials are over at the monitor taking a look at it right now.
You know, Logic's just got her nose right up in there. Good defensive position by Logic. There wasn't a lot of room for Casey Doolin to operate, but as she rotated through, she caught Logic. Yeah, that second arm, as you mentioned. They're going to take a look at it, make sure.
The officials are conferring here on the court. We should have a decision for you shortly. Logic appears to be fine. A little bit of a bloody lip that they are seeing too on the bench, but should not keep her out of action. And the officials have called the coaches together to let them know what they have determined. You can see our officials, Michael McConnell, really explaining, and Kevin Farlow letting the coaches know what they saw and what they think. And both coaches appear to be content with that discussion. So an incidental contact, only an offensive foul, will not be a flagrant one, so they did not deem it excessive.
That's good officiating.
Don't you agree? I think that's right. They got it right.
I think they absolutely got it right.
Doolin just making a basketball move.
Went to the monitor and make sure they had it right.
So Iowa basketball, 8:47 to play in this game. Iowa with a 61-48 lead, and a travel turns it over. Now, before you think that they are out of it here, keep in mind, Marist was down 17 points in their conference tournament game, in the championship game, and came back to win and earn a bid to the NCAA. They have been down by 14 tonight, so they are used to digging their way back into games.
And Brian Georges said that came a lot from the leadership of the seniors. He gave them goals. By the next media timeout, let's be within this amount of points. By the next media timeout, let's be within this time.
Shot clock down to 4. Doolin for 3. Yes! Casey Doolin, after the long layoff to go to the monitors, sinks a 3-point shot and pulls this team back within 10.
And again, you see Marist using all of that shot clock. Brian Georges told us yesterday, I don't care how long people have to defend us, they're going to chase us all over the court.
And finally, Melissa Dixon gets on the scoreboard, the junior with her first points of the game, and it's a 3, pushing the lead to 13 for Iowa.
And she is a tremendous three-point shooting threat, and that's why, again, who are you going to guard? You know, there are so many threats on both of these teams. You have to play straight up and not allow anybody to have their way offensively.
Theairra Taylor bringing the ball down, hands it off to Dixon.
It's really hard to help.
Feed inside. And a travel as Bethany Doolittle fought for position. Iowa turns it over. They're up by 13 with 7:25 left to play, but Marist can hit the 3. Stick around.
The NCAA Women's Championship is presented by the Quicksilver Card from Capital One. Earn 1.5% cash back on every purchase.
Iowa leads it by 13 with just over 7 minutes to play here in the game in Iowa City, Kevin. Happy birthday to Gino Ariema. Ockenden rims in and out.
Little zone look again for Iowa. We saw him go back and forth a little bit in the first half. An open look in the corner, but Marist wasn't able to connect.
How do you stop that play? Logic comes in to the paint with a full head of steam, pops it out, and Disterhoff wide open for 3.
That's why this Iowa offense is so dangerous, because if you help out on Logic, she's going to find the open player. If you don't help out, she's going to take it all the way to the rim.
So the freshman, Allie Disterhoff, just 2 points in the first half, both free throws, has scored 11 points now. Starting to feel it here. Doolittle picks up her 3rd personal foul, and that will send Blaze to the line. Madeline Blaze, 2nd team All-MAC. Got into the starting lineup after Tori Jarose was injured and has not looked back. Actually learned how to shoot from watching instructional videos where she grew up in Exeter, New Hampshire. So bless her heart that she's made it to this level, NCAA tournament. Iowa up 67-53 and a foul and 1. Opportunity for the Hawkeyes.
Melissa Dixon is known as a three-point shooter, but she has added to her game over the course of the last couple of seasons the ability to put the ball on the floor and attack the rim. She gave a little head and shoulder fake on the three-point attempt, got the defender up in the air, and went to the rim to draw the foul.
Well, Dixon completes the three-point play. Last year, the Big Ten 6th player of the year. Moved into the starting lineup this year after Morgan Johnson and Jamie Prenti graduated. And boy, she is not disappointed, averaging 13 points a game for the Hawkeyes.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing when you look at Iowa losing the 2nd leading scorer all time here at Iowa, Jamie Prenti, and the all-time shot blocker in Morgan Johnson, and then to have one of the best seasons under the tutelage of Lisa Bluter ever this year.
So another foul called, Theairra Taylor with her 2nd. Red Fox basketball. Blaze, no. Theairra Taylor skies for another rebound. She's having a career night, folks, just a few points off her career high. Theairra Taylor has done it all for the Hawkeyes. Patient offensive possession. And Coffey gets in the way. creates the turnover for Marist. Here comes Blade, kicks it out to Ockenden, and a trailing O'Connor. No. Boy, that would have been interesting. Just off the mark. Everybody in this building held their breath.
And that's what Marist can do. They just have not been able to get into a rhythm. Give Iowa credit the way they've played defense. They've switched it up a little bit. They have made it difficult for Marist.
Till off the mark. Nice pass ahead to Coffey. Going against Till, and Till is called for the foul. A lot of contact there as Till picks up foul number 2. The journey to the Frozen Four in Philadelphia continues with regional semifinals and finals from Worcester, St. Paul, and Cincinnati. That's Saturday at 4 Eastern on ESPNU and Watch ESPN. For information about every championship, you can go to NCAA.com, the official online home for all 89 NCAA championships. Sydney Coffey at the line. The sophomore out of Hopkins, Minnesota.
We mentioned it in the first half, but her sister is Nia Coffey that plays for Northwestern. Her dad, their dad played for the Timberwolves in the NBA and also in Europe, and Nia is much more built like their dad, but Sydney is more built like the mother of the family, who is a track athlete, and that's what you see, the quickness from Sydney Coffey as opposed to the strength and overall athleticism that Nia Coffey provides for Northwestern.
Theairra Taylor, another 3, 5 threes for the senior is a career high. And with that basket tied her career high of 22 points.
She has been outstanding tonight.
Doolin with a nice feed, but O'Connor can't handle it. A little sloppy here. And Hawkeyes recover. In the corner, Dixon alone. Yes! Back the other way. Coffey going in hard. Gets the basket and the foul. Will go to the free throw line. Disterhoff charged with the foul.
Now we have seen what makes Iowa such a potent offensive team. Logic yet again setting up another 3 in transition. This time it was Dixon.
10 rebounds for Samantha Logic. She is 10 assists, 2 rebounds away from that triple-double. So Iowa trying to close things out. 3:59 to play. They lead Marist big, 76-57. The Hawkeyes feeling happy. Iowa up 76-57 here in the first round. Louisville region in Iowa City. Samantha Logic putting on a show.
Just a couple of rebounds away from a triple-double. She is able to go inside and score. Watch this play off the inbound, hit a three-pointer early in the game. In transition, pushing ahead when nobody stops her, but the assist, setting up her teammates there. It was Dixon from three-point range, and it's actually just 1 rebound away from the triple-double within Samantha Logic's sight. Already 3 triple-doubles this year, as you mentioned, Holly, and on the verge of another.
And to put it in perspective, as she misses the free throw there, only 13 times before this NCAA tournament started had players had triple-doubles in the NCAA tournament in history. So she is in some rare company today if she can get 1 more rebound with 3:57 left to play. Marist can shoot the 3, though. 1 of every 3 shots they take is a 3-pointer. They have the firepower, but not if they turn it over like that. Tough break for Emma O'Connor. 3 seniors on this Marist team. They've accomplished a lot. Conference champions this season. They've won 10 of 11 of the last conference championships in the MAC.
And they came into the NCAA tournament last year and played another Big Ten school in Michigan State, lost that one by 5. We're very disappointed because they had won the first-round games the 2 previous years. This is the first time, though, Marist has ever had to play an opponent on its home court in the first round.
Alyssa Dixon scoreless in the first half. Came alive in the second. She's got 12. O'Connor gets the bucket this time, but running out of time, down by 20.
We talked about, you just mentioned how Dixon's come alive here in the second half, so has Disterhoff. It was set up because of the play early by Bethany Doolittle inside. Theairra Taylor has been fantastic, and Logic continues to dish it out, distribute, get her teammates involved.
Great effort by Callie Peschel as she gets the rebound going to the ground to keep it alive for the Hawkeyes.
Good hustle play by Peschel, who was a starter earlier this year before Disterhoff replaced her, and to come in and play with that kind of energy and just go hustle and get a board after spending so much time on the bench tonight, that's just a great hustle play.
So the 5th offensive foul of the night on Iowa is called against Doolittle. She's got 4. It's been a point of contention with Lisa Bluter. Bethany Doolittle, a great night, 21 points, 4 fouls. She'll take a seat on the bench. Marist just not the size to deal with them. That presence in the post. Number 24 in red, Lai, coming in now for Marist. As is Catherine Fogarty, number 35. Lai goes hard to the hoop for her first basket of the game. And more subs coming in now. Natalie Gomez-Martinez checks in for Brian Georges. Brian Georges, what a terrific coach. It has been a pleasure talking to him as he hugs one of his seniors. Leanne Ockenden, what a career. And Sam Logic leaves the game to a big round of applause. Darn it, I don't know if Lisa Bluter knows she needs 1 rebound for a triple-double. Lisa, put her back in. Driving in hard to the hoop. Peschel gets the basket, and she'll go to the line as the hugs continue for Marist. The seniors, what careers they have had. 9th consecutive Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference Championship this season for Leanne Ockenden, Emma O'Connor, and Casey Doolin. Brian Georges, one of the more intriguing coaches we've ever gotten the chance to talk to. He was so delightful. He's a world-class autograph seeker. He's got Babe Ruth's autograph, Lou Gehrig, Mickey Mantle, a collection you can't believe, and what a wonderful collection of young ladies he is coaching here, as well as Claire Till takes a seat. Emma O'Connor, one of those seniors who has given so much to this team.
And playing for a couple of assistant coaches, and Erin Dowdy and Alyssa Kresge, who also played for Marist, and the tradition continues.
And the basket for Natalie Gomez-Martinez, who went in hard. She'll go to the free throw line. And you know, the real compliment to Brian Georges, here is his first NCAA tournament team back in 2004. And from that team, 8 of those young ladies have gone on to coach in college basketball, including 2 on his own staff, Erin Dowdy and Alyssa Kresge. So Brian Georges creating wonderful opportunities for young ladies through his mentorship at Marist. He's a big Scandal fan. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Well, we learned so many things about him.
He loves 24. They watch 24 on their bus trips. He loves the TV show Scandal.
And he was part of USA Basketball this summer as an assistant coach to Sherry Cole, to the World University Games team that went to Kazan, Russia. I had the opportunity to go over there and call those games over there, and got a chance to see him in action there. And Sherry Cole, so appreciative of what he did on her staff for helping prepare the team for their opponents. Such a great scouter.
He's a huge Oklahoma football fan. He fell in love with the Sooners in 1967, and Sherry Cole actually got him a signed autographed football from Bob Stoops and Barry Switzer. So he has collected all kinds of memorabilia from Oklahoma. When he was in college at Cortland University in New York, he would have the Daily Oklahoman newspaper mailed to him. Like, that is a serious fan.
That is a serious fan.
I know we didn't get enough time to talk about him. He's just one of the most fascinating, wonderful coaches I've met in a long time. It was such a delight to get to know him. As his Marist team fought hard but didn't have enough firepower down the stretch, as Iowa 8 of 11 in the second half from the three-point line really took control of this basketball game.
And you really have to give so much credit to what Sam Logic set up for Iowa. Because of the defense and the attention she draws, she got so many of her teammates open and made such a difference.
For the second straight time, Peschel comes down, gets the basket, and will go to the free throw line. Callie Peschel, 6'1" sophomore out of Sauk Center, Minnesota, has done a great job. You know, she was a starter early in the season, started 19 games for this Hawkeye team, and gave way to a freshman, Allie Disterhoff. And Lisa Bluter, her coach, said she could have handled that poorly and it could have been a cancer on our team, but she didn't. They've had no drama. She has accepted her role and contributed like she has late in this game.
And that says a lot about the young woman.
And another foul is called. So that will send Eileen Van Horn to the line. Van Horn just checking into this game late, a 5'8" sophomore out of Wisconsin. So Iowa, with 52 seconds left, I believe it is safe to advance them to the next round. They will take on Louisville. And what are your thoughts on a Louisville-Iowa matchup?
I'm very interested to see how Jeff Walz decides to defend Iowa because of Sam Logic and what she's able to do at the point guard position, and then all of the different players that have that ability. Jeff Walz is so good at taking away the best player typically and trying to make others beat him, but who do you take away? I mean, you have to respect every offensive contributor on this team, so I'm really interested to go to the practices tomorrow to see what Jeff Walz is going to try to do to slow this Iowa team down.
Louisville, a number 3 seed in this tournament, despite winning 30 games in the regular season. And here is where the complaint Jeff Walz has in about their low seed comes into play, because they are now in a second round game on Tuesday night on Iowa's home court, and that is tough.
It is tough, and Iowa hasn't advanced to the Sweet 16 and would like to do that. They feel like with them getting a higher seed this year, Iowa, a 6th seed, they've got a better opportunity than they have the last few years playing in that 8-9 seed spot.
So Iowa will improve to 27-8, the most wins in a season under the leadership of Lisa Bluter, a terrific group of young ladies. You talked about the balanced scoring, but she says more importantly, this is a group that really gets along. They love each other. They have not had one single moment of drama this season, and as you know, when 15 women get together, that can be an issue. So wonderful that the Hawkeyes have really put it together. And now can they advance with taking care of business against Marist? The Hawkeyes get it done at home. Five starters in double figures for the Hawkeyes as they advance to take on Louisville. So Louisville gets past Idaho. Iowa also advances. LSU, West Virginia in the lower part of this Louisville region. And boy, we've got a good one here Tuesday night, Brenda. Louisville and Iowa will be a barn burner. Well, our final score here from Iowa City, 87-65. The Hawkeyes prevail. Coming up next, it's the NCAA Women's Championship Studio. Good night from Carver Hawkeye Arena in Iowa City. Hollow Row, along with Brenda Van Langen. Now let's join Kevin Nagandi. Well, Lisa Bluter of Iowa, the first few minutes of this game was a frenetic back and forth pace. What was going through your mind during that stretch?
Oh, we wanted to push. We wanted to get the, the tempo going, and that's best for us. And so, but when it came down to it, it was balanced basketball once again for us.
What changed for you in the second half that really started to give you some distance against Marist?
Well, you know, I thought Melissa Dixon got the three-pointer going. You know, Bethany Doolittle's so good inside, and we got her the ball in some good scoring position. And, you know, Sam run the show. It's, you know, she's just able to get to the basket. She's able to find, you know, our runners for the three-point baskets, and so they're just a lot of fun to coach, Holly.
Sam Logic, 1 rebound away from a triple-double. You didn't know she was that close. You took her out. Why?
I shouldn't have. You should have been waving at me, Holly, or something. So.
Sam, for you, you do such a great job. You come in with the head of steam and penetrate. What's going through your mind when you're controlling the team like that?
Well, just try to get to the rim, and if no one stops you, get to the rim. And if someone does stop you, I mean, I have 3-4 great shooters that could be in the corners at that time. So we just want to push the pace like Coach said. I think that's what changed in the second half, getting stops so that we can push. If you make a basket, it's harder to push. So our defense kept it up a little bit more.
All right, you've got a big challenge, Louisville, now on Tuesday night here on your home court. What do you have to be mindful of against Louisville and their great shooters, Shoni Schimmel?
Yeah, just that. I mean, unconscious player can shoot the lights out of the ball. It comes in big for big games, so we're just going to be ready for that. Really good team, obviously ranked top 5 in the country all year. Lucky to have them at home.
Coach, what do you think?
Ditto. I mean, she really, you know, she's a coach in the making, so, you know, she really has it down for us. But, you know, Schimmel's such a great player. And the defensive pressure, the problem that I see with this is that it's going to be such a different game than what we saw today, as far as the defensive pressure is going to be so much more intensified. Hard to get ready for that in one day, and that's what I see as a problem.
All right, well, we'll see you here Tuesday night. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Holly.